What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Time for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's series is going to be between MVP and HerO. We are starting things off here on Shakur's Plateau. Liquid's HerO spawning in the upper right-hand position as our blue Protoss player. And then over here in the upper left-hand position, we've got MVP as the red Terran player. So yes, this is going to be a Terran versus Protoss here on Shakur's Plateau. Game number 1 in the series here between these two players. Over the past couple of days, I've been pulling a lot of games from the MLG tournament, so I'm happy to bring this to you guys, and I'm actually absolutely ecstatic that there's so many good games now. It's making me go into like StarCraft 2 commentary overdrive, just because there are so many great games. And again, if you didn't happen to catch MLG, it's a great way to get some of these amazing players and some of the amazing games that they had. And even if you did see MLG, I suggest watching them just to get my take on it, or I don't know, for whatever reason. You're here for a reason, obviously. You're watching this and you're hearing me say this, so there you go. All right, MVP will be coming with a wall off here at the front of his ramp, deciding that he does want to try to deny some scouting here. You're going to see either this or the Terran player is going to actually construct these buildings right inside of his main by his command center, nice and tight. That's kind of the other variation. Now, once more, as always, if you're going for that wall off, the risk is that you run the risk of the possibility of losing those bases once a push does eventually come, but at the same time, if he gets it up fast enough, then he can actually completely deny any scouting there from HerO until he gets his first observer in place. So that's probably what we're going to expect him to be doing here, that we will be coming out that second depot. Now, whether or not he's going to be going one racks expand or not, hard to tell, although never mind, it's actually pretty likely that that's going to be happening right now. You can take a look right now. We're at about 16 supply now, and he still has got no refineries. So the implication here is that he will be going one racks into expand, relying on Marines and bunkers early on as early game defense, and then getting up that nice expansion. Looks like that first Marine will be rallied right outside of the ramp there to that natural expansion in attempts to try to deny the scout. And back over here we can see HerO himself is coming out with an expansion. In fact, going Nexus first and then dropping his gateway after the fact. So very, very early expo here from HerO. Not a lot that MVP is going to be able to do to punish him for that, though, because he himself, again, as we see, is going for an early expansion. Where'd that probe scout go? I do not know. Oh, he's chilling out right over here. Did he scout out the front? No, he hasn't. He's actually going to be pulling in right now, just bypassing that Marine. That was beautiful as he makes his way on in, and there you go. Absolutely stellar. Catching those SCVs. He knows what's up. And actually 2 SCVs plus Marines streaming across the map right now. Does look like we're going to be seeing some attempted bunker pressure here at that natural expansion. So let's see. Oh boy, I'm very, very interested to see what HerO is going to do to stop this. Now he's going to be chrono boosting out that first Zealot first and foremost. There it goes, Zealot making its way on through, actually delaying that Sovereign X core to be able to get up that Zealot a little bit quicker. And he just needs to stop these bunkers from getting up. He does not need this to happen. You do not see this much bunker pressure in this matchup. Most often you're seeing it in the TVZ matchup. But clearly this would work, and if he can get this out before the first Zealot comes into play, and you're going to see HerO actually sacrificing some of his workers just to stop this bunker pressure from going up. And now that first Zealot is out, looks like this aggression will be stopped here from MVP. He stands not a chance against a Zealot. Even with some good Marine micro, you have a very, very hard time against even a single Zealot. He's just so beefy, so durable. HerO did manage to defend himself from taking too much damage there from MVP, but in the meantime ended up losing quite a bit there. You can see losing a total of 6 workers. MVP killing 6 probes there in that engagement. And again, in looking at the resources lost, you can also see HerO is behind there as well. Now we're going to see an attempted counterattack with this one Zealot. We got a lot of Marines here though, and that is enough to force that Zealot back. Just those 4 with a little bit of micro. You might lose a Marine or 2, but you should be able to kill off that Zealot. Here comes a second Zealot though. The problem is that he's not going to get up there before this bunker finishes. And MVP is just going to try to force him back and provide enough time to get that bunker complete. It's going to be very close. The bunkers should be finished, though. Zealot's trying to move forward, and again, not there quick enough. Forced to pull back right now. Marines trying to push forward with a little bit of micro, trying to target fire down the Zealots. Unfortunately, now Zealots out of range. They are safe. Going to allow those shields to recharge. Here comes a Stalker, but again, it does not matter. Now that this bunker is up, really nothing that he can do. Orbital Command is finished. Coming down at the Expo. Here comes another expansion. We'll be sitting on 3 bases very, very early on. He may very well actually need another bunker. That is incredibly risky there from MVP, but if he pulls it off, he will be in a fantastic economic position. Stalker will be sitting out front right now for scouting purposes. He just wants to see when and if MVP does decide to move out. You can see he's got just enough vision of this bottom half of that ramp there with that Stalker in that position. 2 Zealots making their way back home. We got that SCV moving in for secondary scouting, and he's not going to catch too much though, as we do have a sentry here. I'm going to expect that force field. No! He misses the force field, allowing the SCV to get in. Now, he's not seeing much. He's only seeing 2 gateways, but I really wished that he had dropped a force field. I'm not sure if he wasn't paying attention or what, but even though it's only 2 more gateways, he shouldn't be letting MVP see this. He wants to deny that scouting, force a scan or something, force a Reaper, anything. Basically, don't let your opponent know what's going on. And the problem is that since that SCV got up there, he knows exactly what's going on. He knows there's 3 gateways. This also tells him that there's no Robo and that there's no Stargate, which he would not have been aware of if he had denied that scouting by dropping a force field. So again, I'm a little perplexed that he let that happen, but oh well, c'est la vie, what can you do? Stalker right now doing a little bit of Marine harass, Marines pushing back to the safety of the bunker. We get a pro moving up here for HerO, and he should be able to scout out this expo once it gets dropped, unless he ends up putting the expo over here, which is certainly quite the possibility. We've got a factory finally coming out right now, as he has been sitting racks heavy thus far. Engineering bay coming out as well. Should allow for a turret or 2, and here it comes. Twilight Council now in play will allow him to go up into that Dark Shrine, which is right over here. There it is. Dark Shrine and 2 more gateways, as well as the robotics. So we will be seeing some DT harass here from HerO relatively early too. We're at the 850 mark, and given that he did go Expo first, having a Dark Shrine up this early isn't certainly orthodox. You see a lot of Dark Shrines in the late stages of the game. Just to the middle to late stages of the game for some harass, but he's getting it before the 10-minute mark, so we'll have to see how effective he is going to be with that. Now, it could very well be a DT drop with this Robo coming in play at the same time. We may very well be seeing a War Prism. Orbital Command still inside of the main base for MVP. Why hasn't he moved it, you may be asking? Well, he's basically using it to get some heavy saturation nice and early. You can see that natural getting very close to fully saturated there. MVP will be working his way up into double medevacs here as he's getting that reactor on the factory. And that starport is building as well, so we'll be going bio heavy quite clearly, and then throwing in some double medevacs, and then eventually getting those double Vikings to deal with the likely Colossus. And here it comes now. We have got a War Prism coming on through. He's also planning to attempt to expand, but Marine Scout moving on over is able to actually check that. Got a pylon over here. HerO will be able to harass the eventual expansion if MVP gets to that point. If we eventually even reach that point in this game, here comes a second engineering bay and just a whole lot more production right now. So both players pretty much just gearing up right now for the inevitable hit, and here it comes. 3 Dark Templar loaded up into this War Prism, and let's see how effective this is going to be. Now with 3 orbital commands, he has got plenty of opportunity to scan. We also have that missile turret right over there. I think that is the only one, though. There's no missile turret here inside of the main. So the DT, if they spread out, they could do a lot of damage and actually force a lot of scans. And all the energy's gone. He cannot scan right now out of those 2 orbitals. He cannot scan out of any orbital. Oh, this is a problem as he's forced to try to come out with some missile turrets to deal with this. He has just wasted all of his energy on some mules, and all of a sudden these DT have got a great opportunity to do a lot of damage. He's going to be going straight for that tower, doing as much damage as he possibly can. My gosh, this is unbelievable. Dark Templar, how many are in play right now? Just those 2, but they're going to be going to town here and doing so much damage. Missile turret's up. That Dark Templar is going to get detected right now. This one's forced to push back as well. Can actually go for these, though, as I'm not sure if he's going to be detected. Yes, he will be. He is just within range right now. That's going to force him back and actually drop it a scan, taking out that Dark Templar. And that looks like that is it. Oh, just the one more over here, doing what he can for damage. He's got 5 kills thus far. We got a factory scout moving right here. That's not a lot, though. And this is unbelievable. He actually managed to do a decent amount of damage there. Let's take a look at the resources lost. Yes, they're about even right now. Workers killed. HerO managed to kill off a few SCVs there. Absolutely beautiful. Here comes that factory scout. He'll be scouting out that Templar archives. He already knows about the robotics. He obviously knows about that Dark Shrine as well. One thing he'll be checking for, though, is whether or not there is a robotics bay, and as we know, there is in fact not. Fortunately, Dark Templar just kind of stuck in the corner, and there's a scan from MVP allowing him to take it out. One big thing, though, that did is, as you can see over here, HerO is now getting up his expansion. So all of that harass doing is buying him lots and lots of time. And that was absolutely perfect there. We got a Ghost Academy also coming in here for MVP, as he will be working his way up into some Ghost play, allowing him to drop those EMPs. I don't think he's got any Vikings, which clearly he doesn't need, because with that Factory Scout, he should have checked the fact that there were no Colossus. There's no Colossus planned anytime soon. It's looking like he'll just be sticking with Forge Heavy, Gateway Heavy, and then working up into the High Templar as well. Here comes the attempted drop for MVP. He'll be able to drop off this pylon. Although HerO is fully aware that this is coming, so I don't expect this drop to do much damage. In fact, he's probably just going to be pulling back with that, realizing that he's been spotted and he can't really do a lot. Factory Scout moving back in for some additional scouting. Unfortunately, that's going to get to burning right now, and MVP will end up losing that as a result. A couple more pylons, a pylon and a cannon actually getting placed over here. Get that forge, just about to finish research. There we go, a little bit of an engagement going down here, as we see MVP drop down some of his marauders to try to do some damage as he got caught out of position. Here we go, Bio pushing from the other angle, and HerO could be in trouble right now. He's about to get sandwiched, dropping some necessary force fields and trying to push back. He's losing some of his units though as the stimmed up Marines and Marauders make chase here with those concussive shells, doing quite a bit of damage, slowing them up and allowing everything else to catch up there. So nice little defense there as MVP was about to actually lose those medevacs, pulling on in with his Bio from the opposite angle, pushing back down with the medevacs and getting a nice little close there on HerO's units that were sitting pretty vulnerably in the center of the map. Now at this point, MVP should be aware that an expansion is coming as he scouted with that Marine, that first probe that was there. He hasn't scouted the expansion building yet, but he should be aware that the plan is there. At the same time, he'll be dropping his orbital command that was in his main right over here in that third position. And here comes the Bio push right now. He's sitting at 1-2 for upgrades. What does HerO have? He is 1-1. Nice storm on top of all the Bio. And MVP just took massive damage there from that side storm. The big problem right now, though, is MVP is going to be threatening this expansion. We got a couple High Templar over here. Ghost move from the opposite angle, dropping EMPs there right on the High Templar. Keep in mind, though, we still have these two High Templar over here, and they have got enough energy to scan. Bio will be pushing it from this angle. Charge Zell trying to push forward. This is going to be a difficult situation for them as they can't get us around on the Bio. We've got the Ghost in there landing those EMPs and preventing any more storms from being laid down. Two High Templars moving from the backside. Let's see what they can do. Is he going to be able to land any storms here? It's going to be very, very close. He needs to be able to do this. There it is, storms. That's going to help him a lot. And then going into an Archon immediately after that. And that weakened up this Bio quite a bit and will allow him to get that next warp in. That should be able to mop this up. It will be a little close here. We get Archons moving in to do some damage. His shield's almost gone, though. Probes forced to come down. A couple Zealots also forced to engage over here. And this has proven to be a problem for HerO. Archon finally gets taken out. There's just a few more units left here for MVP, though. And finally, he has been mopped up, forced to pull back there. That was a very, very effective drop. Very, very effective push, rather, that we saw from MVP, and he will be keeping it up as he stims up some Bio across the map and moves towards this third base here for HerO. Zealot and High Templar getting warped in. Don't think that's going to be enough, though, as there's some massive Bio over here. High Templar's got no energy as he dealt with an EMP there, and there you go. This is a major, major issue for HerO. HerO trying to push out right now. He's got a few units over here moving from his main base. However, he has lost this expansion. There's nothing he can do about it. There's no counter harass or anything going on. MVP is in a very, very solid position right now as he's taken out this expansion and just done tremendous amounts of damage. You can see how far behind HerO is right now in terms of those resources lost, and MVP just continuing to stream these units across the map. The issue here is that things are just going to get worse and worse for HerO as economically he is sitting behind right now. You can see how far ahead MVP is. This is just going to allow him to continuously stream out that Bio and keep up this aggression, and pretty much only on like 1.5 mining bases right now. You can see those resources dwindling at the only two bases that he has up. It's just going to be very, very hard for him to hold this continuous aggression that we're likely to see here from MVP. In terms of upgrades right now, MVP now sitting at 2-3 and HerO only sitting at 2-2. He's got no more upgrades coming in the works, and we've got level 3 armor upgrades coming out for MVP. MVP also working to get his way into a 4th base. A little bit of attempted harassment. Oh, he did a bit of damage there. Let's take a quick look. Okay, maybe not that much. Only 19 workers killed so far in the game, but it looked like we saw some SCV remnants over there, so I think he managed to do a fair amount of damage with that. We also have this factory scout just kind of chilling out over here. Not enough anti-air here from HerO to actually be able to deal with that. One big thing is he'd like to go Stalker Heavy to take that out, but he really can't go Stalker Heavy because if he does, he's going to get kind of mopped up by the Marauder Heavy forces here of MVP with some Ghost in the mix. And yeah, MVP sitting in a fairly dominant position. I want to take a quick look at the army supply. Look at that, MVP almost double what HerO has in terms of army, and this is going to be a problem right now. The only thing that can kind of sway the tide here in HerO's favor would be some nicely placed storms, but here comes a drop and back of that natural expansion at the exact same time he'll be hitting a third, and this is going to be close to the nail in the coffin here. HerO just does not have enough. Launcher Bio tear through his unit. Storm, however, Bio moving away. So much damage over there, and HerO saying GG. HerO opened up this game with some decent DT harass. This actually forced MVP to stay in his base to defend against it. With this, HerO was able to do a bit of damage. During that DT drop, we also saw HerO move into his third base as his opponent was distracted. HerO caught MVP's bio in the center of the map. He was able to do a little bit of damage, however we did see MVP quickly respond by picking up his units and then pulling from the other angle with the rest of his bio to return some damage as well. MVP feigned a push towards the third, and then as his opponent was responding, was able to land some EMPs on the High Templar and immediately push out towards a natural expansion. A big problem here for HerO is that he was so charged Zealot heavy and was not able to swoop around MVP's bio due to this choke point at the ramp. This allowed MVP to tear through that front Zealot line and then continue to push into the expansion. MVP's push on HerO's natural did so much economic damage that when we saw an additional follow-up attack onto the third, HerO just lacked the income to have a strong enough force to defend against it. This allowed MVP quite easily to take out this expansion and take the lead in the game. Alright my friends, there you go, that does it. This is game number 1 here between MVP and HerO. We'll be moving on to game number 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.